Welcome to the Morning Mindset Podcast with me, Craig Skelton. Each day we kick off your morning with positivity, actionable insights and the motivation you need to conquer the day ahead. Whether you're looking to develop a positive mindset, habit of persistence, or simply starting your day on the right foot, this podcast is your daily dose of inspirational and practical advice. And today, a topic that I believe is incredibly relevant, especially in a fast-paced world that we live in. Today is about why it's important to give yourself breathing space when you're making important decisions for both you and your business. We live in a world where speed is often celebrated, quick decisions, fast results, and the pressure to always be on the move can make it feel like you're not acting immediately and we're falling behind. But what if I told you that slowing down, actually giving yourself some breathing space could be the key to making the best decisions for both yourself and your business? We've all been there, right? A big decision loom, whether that's a personal choice or a business move. The pressure can be very overwhelming. And maybe deciding whether to go self-employed, recruit someone in your business, or taking a big leap. It doesn't really matter what your scenarios or your situation is. It's easy to feel like you need to act now or risk missing out. But here's the thing, decision making under pressure can cloud your judgment. It can push you into corners where you make choices based on fear, anxiety, or the rush of the moment rather than the sound. But here's the thing, decision making under pressure can cloud your judgment. It can push you into corners where you're making choices based on fear, anxiety, and rushing into the moment rather than on sound reasoning and clear thinking. And this is where the idea of giving yourself breathing space comes in. Now, let me give you an example and stay with me on this one. Imagine you stood in front of a painting, you face up onto a painting, you're standing too close. All you can see is the brush strokes, the tiny detail, and yeah, that's important. The tiny detail is important, but it doesn't give you the full picture. So when you take a step back, you start to see how those brush strokes come together to form the whole painting. But that's what breathing space does for your decision making. It allows you to take a step back and see the big picture. When you give yourself time, you create room for reflection. You allow your mind to process the information, consider different perspectives, and weigh the pros and the cons far more thoroughly. And this breathing space is where clarity lives, where you can move beyond that initial emotional reaction and tap into far more deeper, more rational self. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but what about urgency? What about the need to act quickly? And you're right, there are times when decisions do need to be made swiftly, but even in those moments, taking a few minutes, even a few deep breaths, just can make a whole world of difference. Let's look at how this is relevant to business, because in the corporate world, the pressure to be decisive and assertive is immense. But some of the best business leaders, who are the ones that have mastered the art of pausing, they understand that hasty decisions can lead to costly mistakes. For example, rushing into the hiring that recruit that doesn't work out. You've been pushed into a corner and it's a hasty decision. But breathing space gives you time to consult with others about the decision, seek advice about the decision, gathering more information about that decision. It allows you to engage in what I call constructive procrastination, even if that's a word. But like I said, don't get me wrong, I'm not advocating a world of endless delays and avoiding decisions altogether. I'm not for that. But constructive procrastination is about deliberately choosing to delay decisions until you've got all the necessary information, and a clear mind gives you far greater chance of making the best choice possible. So let's look at bringing this a little bit closer to home, because when you're running your own business, you might feel that everything is urgent, that every choice is on make it or break it. But this mindset can lead to burnout, poor decision making, and ultimately a business that will feel like it's running you rather than the other way around. Giving yourself breathing space means respecting your own need for time. It's about acknowledging that it's okay not to have all the answers immediately. In fact, it's often better that you don't, because when you give yourself that space, you also give yourself your intuition time as well to come to the surface, and let's not underestimate the power of intuition when we're looking at making decisions. Your gut feeling, that inner voice that often whispers the right course of action, is more likely to make itself heard when you're calm, centered, and not rushing. More likely to feel your gut. You're more likely to hear those whispers. But when you're stressed under pressure, that voice, your gut, can get drowned out by the noise of anxiety and fear. But when you take a step back, you breathe, you give yourself time, your intuition can guide you towards decisions that feel right and are aligned with your values too. Firstly, you need to recognize the signs that you need to pause. This might be a feeling of being overwhelmed, the inability to think clearly, like brain fog, or a sense of urgency. That's more about fear than necessity. So when you notice these signs, that's your cue to take a step back. And the second thing is create deliberate pauses in your process, in your decision-making process. This could be as simple as going for a walk or sleeping on it. I'm a firm believer on going for a walk or sleeping on it. I think if the decision can wait until the next morning, let it wait until the next morning. You get a fresh perspective after a good night's sleep. And the third thing is communicate your need for time to others. If you're working with somebody else or as a team, let them know that you are taking a moment to consider all the options. Finally, trust the right decision will come when the time is right. This doesn't mean it shouldn't be passive or avoidant. It's about having the confidence that with time and space, you will arrive at the best possible decision and the best possible choice. In a world that's constantly pushing to be faster, quicker, more responsive, remember that the best decisions often come from a place of calm. So giving yourself breathing space isn't a luxury. It certainly isn't. It's a necessity when you're running your own business. It's about respecting the process and acknowledging that sometimes the best thing that you can do is pause, reflect, and then proceed. So today, as you're going about your work, remember to give yourself that space. Take a deep breath, take a step back, and trust that in doing so, you're setting yourself up for success both in your personal life and in your business. So that's it. That's today's episode. Thank you for joining me on the Morning Mindset today. I hope today's podcast has inspired you to embrace the power of breathing space in your decision making. If you've enjoyed this episode, please sure to subscribe, share it with anyone that you feel that could benefit from today's message. So have an amazing day, stay motivated, stay focused, stay positive, and run your own race.